I gotta double check something. I'm gonna feel really stupid if I
Didn't hit record.
I put it on photo instead of video or something. Oh, we are good. We're 30 seconds in.
Welcome back, Carl.
Took you 30 seconds to sit down and get back up.
26.
Kelly, we're elders. That's what happened.
Stop picking on me, Shelly. All right. So welcome back. We are gathering one more time for an AOT recap, I guess. And just to share what our thoughts were after going on this journey. And I think the first thing we decided that we're going to do is we're going to watch about an 8-minute YouTube video from Shonen Burst. Is that correct?
And we're even going to take notes.
Yeah, the ladies decided they were going to take notes. I'm not that energetic. The video, it says, we haven't watched this yet, but it's got about 3 seconds from each episode. So we're hoping that's going to kind of give us some talking points as we go through this. And at the end, we'll kind of give our overall opinion on what we think. Colossal Titan.
When he first came over the wall.
That was like the first episode, wasn't it?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron just got...
And we're already in training camp.
Annie
and Aaron.
Still my favorite character.
Tousling.
The leg sweep.
In the very first few episodes, the Colossal attacked the town, and we had no idea what was happening. Like, that guy was huge, and just started eating people.
Is that when we were
and
still calling him a butt cheek?
Butt cheek.
Yeah, butt cheek Titan.
Good call.
So we
Good
call
memory.
him butt cheek guy.
Did they explain why he just disappeared? Just
The
at a
Colossal
flash?
Titan.
No, all the others have disintegrated, where that one just disappeared when Aaron struck his neck.
I don't think he actually struck the neck. It disappeared before he got to that point.
like he jumped out of the nave. Damon,
What?
did you find a plot hole?
I guess.
Remind me why Mikasa punched Aaron in what we just saw in the very beginning. Why did she punch him?
He has a punchable face.
I don't
That's
remember why she
totally-
punched him.
There was a reason.
I think because he went into the town and was ornery. He should have, he didn't tell her that he was going to fight for Armin. That's what it was. Because then when she showed up, the townspeople were like, "Did you bring your little sister?"
Protector.
Yeah.
Does that what they sound like?
So anyway, then Aaron's mom got ate really early on.
By Aaron's unofficial stepmom.
I don't think you can call her stepmom.
I just did.
I'm with Tony. This is Aaron fighting back. That's right. At first he didn't.
Yeah, that was
This
a
is
cool
a-
scene where Armin found his voice. He stood up to...
General guy.
The upper military people. Because they didn't know what he was, and they were scared of him.
Well, he was a Titan, so they just assumed he was bad. Since it was like the first or second time that he changed, he couldn't control himself. And in this little screenshot, he tries to attack Mikasa.
I think we said this back then, but I feel like that is such a representation of life too. When we don't know about something, our instinct is to just say we don't like it, or if
Destroy it.
we
because
don't
we
know-
don't know what it is. Let's just
Yeah.
destroy it, get rid of it because we're unsure.
or we don't understand why somebody acts the way we do. We just say it's just easier to be like, "Oh, I don't like them,"
We're against
than
them.
to try to understand where they're coming
They're not
from
like
and their
us.
perspective. And this show showed you too. Like, we thought somebody was a bad guy, but then they showed us why he thought the way he did or behaved the way he did, and we're like, oh, he wasn't such a bad guy. He's that way because of this reason, And yeah, I think that scene was like starting. That's where it all started, showing us kind of that outlook, I guess.
Oh,
He
yeah.
lost his tooth.
That's where
Levi
was...
beat the crap out of him.
And
then
he got his
later,
tooth back.
His tooth grew back.
Oh, Hanji's...
Hanji got to play with the Titans.
Yep, and
That's
she's
kind of
all
where
excited.
we first got to really meet Hanji and get to know her.
And everybody liked her.
I thought she was a little weird at first because she got so excited about the Titans.
That's what everybody says about me.
And then, like,
We still think you're weird,
me
but we
now.
like
I do.
you.
That's true. That's true. And then the first female Titan, she was wicked.
Yeah, she could
She
fight.
killed a lot of people.
And when they started going after her, trying to attack her, she protected her neck. So that was kind of where we learned that, like, some of these Titans have intelligence, right?
Yeah.
We were like, why, she
Differences.
knows that she needs to protect that area.
So, does anybody else find it interesting that all the Titans have a name except for the female Titan is just generic
Yeah.
female Titan?
You're right.
Is
Yeah,
that
where
because,
was the male Titan? So if somebody takes over her Titan and it's male,
does it have to be a
do they
female?
can only females take over her Titan because she's a
good
female
question.
Titan?
You know what? I actually did wonder that.
The other thing I remember about that whole was how she protected Armin and how weird that was. She's killing all these other people, yet
But
she's protecting
him.
Armin.
But I think we did kind of suspect that it must be somebody that we didn't know who she was, but somebody that knew him and didn't want to kill him.
You know what's weird about that? In the end, they did have a connection. Maybe she really did like him before he had Berthold's. Annie and Armin, Berthold too, of course got Mikasa and Aaron.
But at one point in time, I thought there was something between Historia and Aaron.
Yeah.
They seemed a little flirty.
I think
I felt like they were
friendly.
brother sister friendly. but
Aaron and Historia?
Yeah.
Henji.
Oh,
Petra?
Sasha and the cook.
Sasha and the
Oh
cook.
yeah.
Sasha.
But what about Petra? Is that her name?
Petra, you're
Yeah.
right.
Levi. Yeah.
They had a
Yes.
thing.
Yeah, remember? And then he had to give her dad the thing, and the dad said
It was the patch.
she.
right? But
Yeah.
it didn't come from her. It came from somebody else, didn't it?
Yeah,
But he gave it to her. He gave it to her dad, thinking it would
help, like comfort
give him comfort.
The two soldiers and the boyfriend got killed, and she was doing CPR on him, and Armin was watching and telling her to stop. It's like,
That's right. I can't
Yeah.
remember their
And
names
then-
either.
we didn't catch it at first.
But he was only half a body.
It was only half a body, and she's doing
We
CPR
did
on
not
him.
catch that.
Oh, the trap in the city.
I loved, for some reason, to watch Annie and Aaron fight. They both kind of seemed like this. They had the same skill set, so it was just like back and forth. I remember the woods one we got excited about, that big fight. He was interesting because he could speak.
Yes.
And that was interesting too, because that was when he took the ODM gear.
Yeah, and then we were so curious about the beast, but then he just dropped off in this whole scene.
Yeah, she could have
Ymir.
killed Berthold right there.
But Ymir's here now. She's kind of a friend, especially to Astoria.
That was that another
That's
one
a
of the
love
couple?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Then in the end, Astoria ended up with a high school sweetheart or something. They implied, and we didn't know who he was.
Oh, and the colored.
All the different colors that confused us.
Dina, right?
Oh,
That looks
yeah.
like our fruit pizza.
His tongue got cut, and he licked the
And then
fluid off the
Kenny-
floor.
Kenny shows up, right?
Yep, Kenny
Yeah.
was in there. There it is.
There's
There
the
it
lick.
is, yeah.
And
The
then
lick.
That was a creepy.
Oh, I
Oh yeah,
forgot.
Yeah.
I didn't like him.
the whole
His Titan face dragging on the ground. That was
ground
creepy.
off face. Show it.
Oh,
Yeah, I
no,
did not
like
that.
I can't.
But we said it reminded us of something. I don't remember what though.
All the Titans.
And this is
That
where
was
they
freaky.
did this. There was a speech around this time
Yeah, Erwin gave
right
a
before.
great speech to get all
to
the
get them motivated. Or
touching
To commit
speech.
suicide, yeah.
And was that when the town?
I had a reaction to that because I was like really impressed.
Yeah.
by
Let's
that.
go!
People were like, so. We don't, you can't make us though, you know, you can't force us. And he was like, you're right, I can't, or whatever. And then he was like, but do you want to go down as, you know, being remembered for fighting for,
Good memory.
yeah, what's right.
And his
I
goal
love
there
that.
was to give Levi enough time to attack from the back.
The
Oh,
thunder spears were invented. That really helped them.
It's a game changer.
It was
Oh,
hard
yeah,
to feel
solid.
sorry for Zeke then.
So true.
Mm-hmm.
Armin came back to life.
We just wanted Zeke gone.
Yeah. Didn't we get a little bit of trouble for not reacting to Armin's death?
Yeah, a little bit
But
because
Armin wasn't dead.
we never
And
believe
we were right.
that
Mm-hmm.
right when deaths occur.
I think Adam was very disappointed in us. See?
Yay!
That was
That's
one of my
my-
favorite
Yes,
scenes.
mine too.
Like,
And
Armin's
the-
blue eyes.
So in the end, we realized that Armin turned around and shyly looked at her. Because remember him and Aaron was talking?
And we were like, why is he looking,
Yeah.
looking
And
at
what
her
did
like
he
that?
say? He was telling Aaron, you better get your girl or I will. And then he looks at her and goes like this.
It was
and-
real cheesy.
Yes. And because we were all laughing like, why did he laugh so weird?
Mm-hmm.
And it was because he was telling Aaron, you better act on your love impulses.
Zeke was throwing the bodies out of the airship.
Oh,
That scene bothered
was
me a
disturbing.
lot.
yeah. It's where we
Messed up.
went 4 years ahead, and we didn't pick up on that.
we got in trouble for that too.
Yeah.
We-
The
We didn't get in
technology.
trouble.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Okay.
We got put in our place.
The hammerhead.
Warhammer.
He got that.
That's a shark.
Oh, there was that like Fabio looking guy.
Yeah,
Fabio.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Sasha.
Oh, that was
There
sad.
were so many.
That was probably the saddest moment.
Yeah,
Yeah, one of the saddest moments for sure.
because we really got to know her character.
Yeah. So they found out that Gabby was the one that killed Sasha, and Gabby and Falco had been hanging out with Sasha's family and didn't know it.
Rumbling.
That was scary too. I was so sad. They were all so helpless.
The death and destruction from that rumbling was.
And when they were passing the baby.
That was
so-
very hard to watch.
Mikasa into Aaron Deathblow because like it was a long drawn out scene there, but then it went going back through her either memory or a memory she wishes that it was of her and Aaron.
Oh yeah, like living on
Together.
the like farm or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
in the little cabin.
If she
out
would
in
have
the
chose
woods.
different. If
Yeah.
he would
If they both would have
chose
chosen
different.
like
made
ran
different
off together.
decisions, yeah.
But he didn't have a choice.
But I think the scene where they had the choice was when they kind of asked each other what they felt about each other, and they were both kind of said, "You're like my family" or whatever.
But
They
like if
Expose their true feelings for each
if
other.
Aaron would have gave his true feelings,
I
maybe
think that's
he-
how they could have ended up if they both had given their true feelings.
maybe he wouldn't have went off on the battle and the fighting and trying to get over there and kill all the, if he would have expressed it, maybe they could have went and lived in a house together for his last 3 years.
I took it like some of the stuff, and I could be totally wrong, but I took it like that scene where they lived together actually happened, and he wiped her memory so that she wouldn't remember it.
Why
But-
would he
but at the
not want
end-
her to remember that?
But at the end, because she wouldn't have killed him, or she wouldn't have gone through with some of the stuff that they did. Like that whole thing he showed at the end there was Armin that he had told stuff to. Leave every one of them he had told stuff to.
So
and
true.
he took their memory away. So that particular, and that all happened at the same time they showed that scene. So I felt like the scene could have actually happened,
Okay.
and he just.
That's
took
not
it
how
away.
I took it, but
That makes sense though.
but please let us know who's
But-
right, who's
Or
wrong.
maybe it's how you interpret it.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe they're supposed to be left up to
Who knows?
interpretation.
Didn't
Oh, her
they-
memory can't be
You
wiped.
can't wipe out a memory
Oh.
of an Ackerman.
But
Or-
I have one thing to say about this show, and it is, you could probably watch it 100 times, and you would pick up on things that you never picked up on before.
And they have like
Is that a fair statement? You
oh,
think?
for
Right.
sure. And there's subtle like life lessons in there that you don't pick up on maybe the 1st time, and like, don't hold
And
back
that's-
on telling the ones you love them. And
Yes.
like was it Gabby that stopped and was trying to hide the money when the rumbling was happening, and it's like,
No,
Yeah.
what do?
Not Gabby.
I don't think it was her. I think it was
No,
just...
it was. It was.
Oh, it's the
these-
little boy, the thief.
Yeah,
right?
they kind of. Yeah,
Yeah,
remind me
yeah.
of little gypsies or
Yeah,
something.
but I mean,
The money
you
does
can't
not
take it
matter
with
at
you.
that time.
Materialistic
Nothing.
things
But
don't matter.
I think it just goes to show, like, when we're here on Earth, like, we're after
Physical.
the physical thing. Yeah, the money.
Materialistic.
And I guess if you don't have the money, and you have an access to it, you're like, oh, that's what I've been looking for forever, and here it is. Although it doesn't matter in that moment.
So overall, quick recap as far as your opinion initially when we started versus where you're at now. From the beginning, our son Adam asked us to watch this. We had no interest in it. We watched a few episodes just to humor him. He kept, for like a year, he kept bringing it up off and on, and eventually said, hey, would you watch it if you watched it with your friends? I'm like, yeah, we're going to get together anyway. Let's do it.
Yeah, and then we get a message. We have a proposal for you.
I still thought when we were doing it, it was like, oh, we'll just humor Adam and we'll watch a few episodes. But I think, I don't know that all of us would have watched this. I know we've talked about that. I think after getting through that first season, it was a little struggle still for me the first season. But after getting through that, I think the story all started coming together. Because at first it was just like, there's these giants killing people and just bloody, gory.
And they're naked.
Yeah, it was just weird. It was just weird. But after that first season, the storyline started forming better, And I got hooked in it, and I enjoyed watching the rest of it. There was some stuff that I, wasn't my favorite, but there's like that in every show. There's people die, this happens, that happens. But overall, I really did enjoy it. How about you, Shelley?
Pretty much the same way as Carl. I think
I thought she
the
was just going to
characters-
stop right there. Pretty much ditto. Tony?
What he said.
the characters grew on me, and I actually liked Attack on Titan. We're currently watching Death Note. I kind of like it better than Death Note, actually. So I'm sad it's over, but yeah, I didn't know what anime was.
And from an outsider looking in, I feel like when you started doing the editing, you really had a different appreciation for the show.
Yeah.
You were really
And I don't want to
into
take
it.
credit for editing the edited. I edit the unedited, which is basically
Right.
inserting a timer. But
I enjoy a show regardless whether it's live action, anime. There's a few shows I've watched. Shows like this, they have a good story to it. I think provides a good escape, and I'm sure all of you can figure out that I like thinking things through. I kind of ponder the what ifs and the sci-fi aspect of it and the supernatural of it. So I do enjoy that. Would I have watched Attack on Titan by myself? No, because I would have looked at Attack on Titan and go, wow, there's 4 seasons and almost roughly 90 episodes. I don't have time to watch it. And the fact that we're getting together as a group of friends and watching these shows together, I'm like, yeah, okay, now we have a reason we're making time to actually watch it. I feel sorry for the people who watched this from the beginning, where there was season 1.
And had to wait.
And they had to wait.
Oh,
And there was season 2, then they had to
no way.
wait. And my history may be wrong, but was between the 3rd and 4th season, was it like 2 years or 3 years or something like that?
Yeah.
And I'm kind of opposite of Tony. I like watching things that can happen in real life, and if it's something sci-fi, I tend to like turn my nose up at it. And so to me, anime was like things that can't really happen. But the further I got into the show, the more I realized there are things in this show that are relatable to my life, and that lessons I can learn or reminders about what's important in life. And only one of the negative things, and something that kind of held me back from it, loving it, was I feel like I'd watch 3 episodes and be confident, like, I know what's going on. And then all of a sudden I'd watch an episode and I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. So then it would kind of like deter me from wanting to watch more, because I felt like I was kind of like wasting my time, because I'm like, I'm lost again. And then when we got to season 3, yes, it was a roller coaster for me. And I would ask you that, and you were like, no, I pretty much know what's going on. I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's just me, But season 3, I was lost for a long time, but then season 4, it got better again.
Okay, so I've read a lot of comments where people have said, I wish I could get my parents to watch this. I don't know, just show your parents us talking here at the very end, this episode, and we will tell you, like, if your kids want to watch this with you,
do it. Yeah.
Absolutely do it.
I'll be honest, I wouldn't have if my kids would have invited me to watch
I
this.
would have kind of turned my nose up
yeah.
at first, but then I maybe would have done it just to, have the time with them. But yeah, absolutely do it. I mean, for me, it was very hard to get invested the first season.
I would have said your dad will watch it with you.
It was very hard to get invested the first season, and the only reason I stuck it out is because we're sitting here doing this together.
I think we joked around a little bit too much, maybe at the very beginning.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And I think
out of ignorance,
people didn't appreciate that, which I get. This
too.
is something that they really love and are passionate about. Exactly. And so I feel like we kind of gave it a better appreciation after that, and that made a big difference.
And it's worthy of appreciation, even in my eyes
it's
now.
It's so well written. One of the funniest ones I thought, which actually wasn't funny, but when Connie took Falco to his mom, and he was gonna, feed him or whatever, and he was like, "Hey, what are we doing here?" And we're like, "We're gonna brush his teeth or something." I found that really silly. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, why on earth would you brush this Titan's teeth? But it was just like the excuse that Connie was able to come up with at the time as to why they were there. And one of my favorite parts, too, was finding out at the very end why Dina went to Aaron's house in the very beginning and ate Aaron's mom. Because I said 100 times, like, there's a reason she went to that house. It's not a coincidence that that's who ate his mom. And then to find out at the end that it was Aaron that sent her. Like, that's crazy. That was, like, mind-blowing.
Yeah, so I thought, kind of like what you guys are saying is the first part of the show, it was kind of hard to get into, and then it seemed like there's a lot of tangents that took off, and it was kind of hard to follow for a little bit, then it started to come back together. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. The message of the show itself, of the cycle of life, and keep repeating, stuff over and over and over without understanding what's really going on with the other person or group or whatever that tendency is, and just seeing it happen over and over is just kind of a reality.
So many life lessons.
And a reminder, yeah.
Yeah, and then tying back into having your parents watch it with you, just bringing in the time short, and anytime spent together is good time.
If your kids want to spend time with you
said.
to do this, do it.
Definitely.
It's a good point. Like I said, Adam didn't watch it with us, but I think he kind of feels like he is watching it with us.
Oh, I'm sure, as he's
Edits it.
editing it, yeah.
Looking at the comments, one of the comments I see is, I hope your kids are guiding you or explaining this or explaining that.
Oh, yeah.
Did Adam really do any of that?
I don't think Adam did anything, and that was his whole point. He wanted us to be genuine reactors, which we have been genuine
Experience
reactors.
it
He wanted
on our own.
us to figure it out. He doesn't prompt us. He doesn't.
Jill shared a couple of her favorite scenes. Did anybody else have a favorite scene they wanted to share?
Mine was the ocean.
Yeah, the ocean.
Him
too,
seeing
yeah.
the ocean, and I thought the scenery was really pretty, and I was happy for them. They got to see it because I love the ocean.
I agree. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I love the ocean,
I'm
so I
a
was so
beach
happy
girl.
when they got to see it.
And the whole basement thing was kind of a letdown for Tom.
Yeah, it was. It was fun to look forward to. It's like, I got the key. I'm ready.
We just thought
I'm
all
so
the
ready.
answers were gonna come
Right.
once they got into that
We
basement.
found 3 books.
We found 3 books.
Which
Which was
read 'em to
significant,
you.
though.
Yeah, it was
yes.
significant, but we were hoping to find like a
sort
a
of-
laboratory, and some evil stuff and some
we
grand
wanted all the
portal
answers,
into another
yeah.
world.
My favorite character has always been Mikasa, so, I mean, I just wanted the Mikasa-Aaron love story to happen, and so I guess my favorite scene was when they showed them having it, whether it wasn't real or not.
I think my favorite scene, probably the ending where they're actually fighting Aaron, the last part of that, I guess. The skeleton Aaron.
I don't know if I have a favorite scene. I've got a favorite character. I liked Hanji. I liked her quirkiness.
You said she's your sister from another mister.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and she only had one eye. I have a lazy eye, so when they drew Annie as a female Titan into the woods and all the tactics and trapping her, I thought that was kind of a cool scene.
So one last question. If you were going to rate this, so we'll say 1 to 10, what would you rank it? I would probably say an 8 or a 9. It was well worth watching. Great story. So I would be 8.5.
I was going to say an 8, which
What
I
would-
think is high.
I think I agree, Carl. I would say 8 to 9.
It's obviously a well-written show, or
Yeah,
it wouldn't have
absolutely.
this following,
Yeah.
Right.
For me personally, is it something that, I loved? No, but I think, I respected it and I can see the draw. So I would definitely give it a 8.5 to 9. Not as something that I would necessarily watch, but
But the
like
appreciation
I said,
for the
I have
artistry
a new
and
appreciation for it.
I think overall, I mean, I hate to give the same answer you guys are kind of giving, but yeah, probably an 8 or a 9. I can't really come up with anything off the top of my head of what I think would be better.
Yeah, so I'd say probably in the same range. I'd say a good solid 8.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else?
We did it.
Oh, Tony, did you want to say one other thing?
I don't know. Do we want to discuss the whole sub versus dub?
No, we don't. Okay, that's a no.
That's a
All
perfect
right.
way to end it. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
watching.
everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Stay tuned for the other stuff we're publishing and watching. So
Appreciate it.
thanks.
Bye, everybody.